If you want to take your performance to the next level, you're going to need to improve your sleep. I'm Dr. Chris Friesen from Friesen Performance, where I help you achieve your greatest potential by optimizing your psychology, physiology, and neurology. In my previous videos on sleep, I talked about how poor sleep leads to a number of physiological, psychological, and neurological problems. Of course, there are other things you're going to need to do to maintain a healthy circadian rhythm. One is going to bed the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning, within about an hour. Otherwise, you're going to be living in perpetual jet lag. You may be wondering, why don't I just take melatonin as a supplement? Research has found that taking melatonin supplements only results in 4 to 12 minutes faster sleep time. There's little to no benefit in terms of how long you sleep or keeping you asleep. Other reasons you should think twice before taking melatonin? Well, it's a very powerful hormone. The dose we often get in a supplement is about 10 times more than what is naturally produced in the body. So we're taking mega doses. So there's the issue, like a bodybuilder taking testosterone, where the body shuts down its own natural production of a hormone. The research isn't fully clear right now, but there's a chance that taking supplemental melatonin can cause your body to shut down its own natural production. One of the reasons why we have a harder time falling asleep as we age is that the pineal gland calcifies. It's actually the organ in the body that calcifies the most with age. I've seen this in my work as a neuropsychologist. On CT scans with older individuals, we see this bright spot at the base of the brain. That's the pineal gland calcifying. So if you want to keep your pineal gland producing its own natural melatonin and live as healthy as possible, I would think twice before I take supplemental melatonin, at least on a regular basis. I want to briefly touch on napping. If you're having any trouble falling asleep or staying asleep at night, you want to try to avoid napping in the afternoons. This is due to something called sleep pressure. The longer we're awake, the more our sleep pressure builds up during the day. When we nap, it resets our sleep pressure. The more sleep pressure we have and the more it builds up during the day, the more tired we are in the evenings. This is related to an inhibitory neurotransmitter that builds up in our brains called adenosine. When we're awake during the day, our brains are very active and we use a lot of ATP, which is our brain's main energy source. As ATP is broken down, it's converted to adenosine. So as adenosine builds up throughout the day, we feel an increased sense of sleep pressure. It takes about 16 hours for this to build up to make us want to go to sleep again. High levels of adenosine help you fall asleep and stay asleep. It takes our brains about 8 hours of sleep to clear out the adenosine. When it's fully cleared out from a good night's sleep, we feel alert and awake first thing in the mornings. But there are two things that can disrupt this buildup of adenosine during the day. One, of course, is taking a nap. Once we take a nap, it basically resets our adenosine and makes it harder for us to fall asleep at night. The other factor that affects this is caffeine. Caffeine is an adenosine antagonist. It blocks the adenosine receptors in our brains and prevents us from getting drowsy. So to improve our sleep, we've got to be careful with our caffeine ingestion. Caffeine has a long half-life. It has a half-life of about 6 hours. So 6 hours after ingesting, let's say 200 milligrams of caffeine, you still have 100 milligrams left circulating in your bloodstream. So what that means is it has a quarter life of 12 hours. So if you consume 200 milligrams of caffeine at noon, at midnight you still have 50 milligrams of caffeine circulating in your body. Caffeine is also known to reduce your body's ability to go into deep sleep. You may have noticed a caffeine crash during the day. Well, this is actually related to adenosine as well. Essentially, when we consume caffeine, it blocks the adenosine receptors. But the problem is, our adenosine is still building up, even though they can't attach to the receptors. So as caffeine gets metabolized over time and the effect wears off, all the adenosine that's been building up floods our receptors and makes us feel exhausted and wanting to take a nap. So to keep a healthy sleep pressure, avoid napping and avoid caffeine whenever possible, or consume it as early as you can in the day. In future videos, I'm going to talk more about the strategic use of caffeine to use it as a performance enhancer. In my next video, I'm going to review another major cause of suboptimal sleep: physiological overactivation. So are you ready to take control of your circadian rhythm? So get out there and take control of your sleep before it controls you. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share with friends or family if you think they'd benefit as well. If you want to get alerted to upcoming videos, hit the bell icon to subscribe. So until next time, keep moving forward.